Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Corsace Open 2021. I am Fiery Rage, going to be joined by Dio for this upcoming match. Osu True Skill versus The Bench. How's it going, Dio?
I'm doing pretty fantastic. This is supposed to be a pretty close matchup between these two teams. You know, not only you look at the qualifier results, you look at how they played last weekend, you look at the overall rosters for both of these teams, and even look at the sorts of maps that they prefer to play. Look at the stats for those two teams, and how close they are, how similar they are, sort of across the board for both teams, and it really does go to show exactly how close they're going to be. We are, it looks like, just getting started with the picks and bans here for set one. Just as a quick reminder for anyone joining us either from another stream or from the main menu of the Osu game client, this is actually a best of 3 sets, where each set is a best of 7. So after this set is over, after we play this best of 7, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back with another set between the two teams to hopefully give us a full 3-set series between these two. So at the start of the series, looking at set 1, we've got Nomad 5 banned out, I believe, by probably The Bench. I would assume this is a ban from The Bench. Osu True Skill. No, actually, a ban from Osu True Skill. Okay. So that's a little bit different than what I would have expected. Lots of very, very strong speed players on Osu True Skill. The same could be said for The Bench, but specifically players like Corey Maluko, KHZ, Zubs, Serpy, TFGE, also fairly good on speed from Osu True Skill. So I'm surprised, honestly, that either team bans out Nomad 5. I would have expected probably these teams to try and feel each other out on a little bit of the speed, but maybe if the warm-ups aren't there for some members, that's a good ban. Nomad 6 banned out by The Bench as well now, so looking to get rid of some of the more 1/6 burst-focused maps in the pool.
Yeah, the Nomad 6 ban from The Bench is not entirely surprising. They tend to not want to really play those gimmick-oriented maps. Hidden 2 pick from Osu True Skill. That's the flow aim-oriented hidden pick. Kind of interesting to pick into The Bench, if I am being honest, with players like Umbre, Stacker Joe, Xylus. Somewhat interesting to pick into that, and I do think that, in general, Osu True Skill's worst mod is Hidden, just looking at their previous matchups. But if they picked it, they must be feeling confident on it. The Bench, Nomad 1, surprising one person out there, probably. They really like to stick towards those generic map picks, just raw aim consistency, raw tests of pretty much just skill in general. Nomad 1 is exactly that, and I will not be surprised to see a Hard Rock 1 if they are not banning it. Or rather, if Osu True Skill is not banning it.
Yeah, I would expect to see one of the other, like you said, sort of raw mechanics tests banned out by Osu True Skill. Specifically, the Hard Rock 1 ban would be pretty well advised from Osu True Skill. If you're looking at the scores from the quarterfinals weekend, Osu True Skill not playing Nomad 1, not playing Hard Rock 1, not even playing Hidden 1 or DT 1 either. So really not wanting any of those raw aim tests in their draft. But they go with the Fremod 1 ban instead, so I guess saying they're probably okay with getting Hard Rock 1 picked into them. It's been a tried and true strategy for The Bench, and there it is. Yeah, right after the Fremod 1 ban comes out, so that's definitely the strategy they're going with here in the first set. Is something that they are very familiar with, that all of their players should do very well on. It worked well for them against Gremlins last weekend in one of the closest matches that we've had so far in the tournament, and they're hoping that it works out here as well. Also, True Skill picking Hidden 2, you're right, is a little weird. They had worse scores on the Hidden maps across the board last weekend than The Bench, albeit not by all that much. About 400k lower average score on Hidden 2 and about 100k lower average score on Hidden 3, so definitely something that if they get the right players performing on the day, I'm thinking specifically of players like Zubs, Defons, Rionata, TFGE as well, maybe Corey Maluko if he's feeling some of these hidden maps that he can do very, very well on, especially with some of that speed requirement. I think some of their players should be fairly good on Hidden 2, and they're going to go with Fremod 2 next as well, so really picking into the flow aim maps.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Nomad 6 and Fremod 2 are pretty much one and the same, I would argue, this pool. a lot more finger control oriented for pretty much both of those picks. So Nomad 6-ban from the bench coming out. Osu Trueskill realizing that and capitalizing on Fremont 2 instead. Not too surprising, but their next pick... They might go for Hard Rock 3 here, given the Fremont 3 ban from the bench. I'm not too sure.
It kind of makes sense, but I would be surprised to see Hard Rock 3 get picked up. You know, some of these Hard Rock players on the bench are just itching to score a breakpoint for themselves on something like that precision pick. You've got the classic Play Genshin, joined by, you know, Umbra, Koliaku, Thieves as well. Stacker Joe can be very good on precision picks, so I feel like that's honestly a breakpoint waiting to happen for the bench if it does get picked up by Osu Trueskill. They're going to go with Nomad 4 instead. I think that plays very well into their current strategy of pick flow aim, which is what they have done throughout this. There's definitely that finger control requirement on Fremont 2, like you mentioned, but all three of those picks are really, really flow aim heavy, whereas the bench have just picked snap aim, very standard jumpy sorts of maps.
Yeah, and I imagine this last pick from the bench probably going to be seeing DT1 just to round out the generic aim-oriented map. DT2, that is not what I expected. Okay, that's like the exact opposite. That is a speed map and finger control.
That's a really interesting pick. I think that's going to be a pick that sort of determines how the rest of the series goes if we get to it. We mentioned at the start, lots of great speed players on both of these rosters. We talked about the Osu Trueskill roster and their speed players, but you look at Xylus, you look at DTMC on the side of the bench, you look at Koliaku, even Umbre as well, can do very well on some of these speedier picks. So very clearly they have a roster that they are confident in putting in for Double Time 2, despite the fact that they did ban out Double Time 2, Double Time 3 versus Gremlins last weekend. They are now saying, no, we can definitely play this. And it's a really tricky pick into a team that got 3 million team score on both DT2 and DT3 last weekend on average. But they're going to go for it and see if they can't get themselves a point on speed, try and put some eggs in a second basket here besides just the basic aim consistency. But Osu Trueskill, all the eggs in basically 1 or 2 baskets here for them as well. They've got lots of flow aim picks, lots of finger control as well in some of these picks. Hidden 2 changing from the swing rhythm into 1/8 at some point throughout the map, as well as the finger control going on in free mod 2. So lots of really unconventional sorts of tricky maps for Osu Trueskill, lots of very straightforward maps for the bench. We'll see how it plays out.
Well, we're going to be off to a good start already. I have gotten word that the bench is missing 3 players, and one of their main carry players, I would argue, BTMC, is currently playing a Tetrio game.
So, you can take that information into account when you cast your predictions in the chat. As that prediction is about to close, once this first map starts up, that prediction in the chat will close, so you can use that information however you'd like. And here we go into Hidden 2, Elemental Creation by Kamome Sano.
He is
Uber Faz map.
Wow, Edward is just immediately going into this without... Okay. That actually is just amazing to me. Well, probably not the lineup you would expect for Hidden 2 from the bench. Xylus, Vesperit, Will Stetson play Genshin. For sake of not losing my mind, I am going to be saying BTMC.
We do have a couple early breaks to talk about as well. Will Stetson, Xylus finding some early breaks. Ryunata finding a break alongside Will Stetson's second drop for the bench. Osu Trueskill with Defons, TFGE, and Zubs in alongside Ryunata. Defons and Zubs finding some misses here as well. Play Genshin. TFGE also dropping a miss, so it's now 4 full combos dropped for Osu Trueskill. Vesperit still holding on to an FC, and Xylus with some combo for the bench now means the score lead should start to go back over. The accuracy is definitely limiting the scores coming out of BTMC and Will Stetson right now, and the combo is starting to be recovered from Ryunata, but these big combos for Vesperit and Xylus are going to do more work than the accuracy can.
Yeah, but Xylus going to be dropping one of the major combos here. Vesperit's still holding on, but there is Zubs on the enemy team to sort of carry that torch. And the accuracy is what's making this really close right now. Vesperit does find a miss as well. Zubs now in control of the combo as we get into the speed section here.
And this is why you put in Zubs for this kind of map. The guy is just so well-rounded. He has tons of different skill sets, but unfortunately he does find a miss right as I call him out, holding on to the combo. It's Defon's.
This is actually insanely close. What is happening?
It's spin to win? Maybe? It's not enough. Rihanna misses the last note of the map right after the spinner, and even without that miss at the very end, I think it still would have gone over to the bench. It's just a hard 2v4 for Xylus and Vesperit there. Play Genshin with an okay score as well, the 320k matching Defon's score, but I mean, Vesperit really 640k on that map, by far the highest score in the lobby, and the main reason why they were able to take that breakpoint.
What just happened?
A close map. A very close map.
I just witnessed a man go from playing Tetrio to playing Osu. And you got to see that live. I didn't think I would ever see the day that happened.
What, you've never watched an Akoro stream before?
I will be honest, no.
Well, there you go. Anyway, after that really close pick from Osu True Skill, it ended up going as a breakpoint in the favor of the bench. We're now getting Nomad 1. This is a pretty tried and true sort of map for the bench. They played both Nomad 1. They played Nomad 1, 4 times last weekend. 4 different times they played the map. Average 3.2 million team score across 4 different map plays, which is some really strong consistency on that map from them. They also played Hard Rock 1 twice last weekend and still averaged 2.6 million team score on that map as well. So these players very clearly love their basic aim consistency sorts of maps, and they are that consistent on them. It's going to take some good scores coming out of Osu True Skill to compete. Hopefully they can make it just as close as we saw on Hidden 2.
We'll be seeing Vesperit in for Nomad 1. That is a bit different than the usual Nomad 1 lineup for the bench. It is usually Thieves, but I imagine he is probably missing. As mentioned prior, they are missing 3 players going into this match, so not an ideal situation, but we'll be getting into Nomad 1. Even then, this map, fairly generic, just jumps, and lots of them.
Early miss for both KHZ and Xylus on either side. Defons, Arj, and Zubs also in for Osu True Skill here. Arj with another miss for Osu True Skill. Vesperit, Play Genshin, and Cole Liaku, like you said, in for the bench. Vesperit with another miss as well. Yeah, definitely. I think they would have liked to see these in for this one, the man who SS'd Nomad 1 last weekend. But unfortunately, probably not here. Would you see another miss come out from Defons on the side of Osu True Skill? It's still one full combo for Zubs right now on their side, Play Genshin and Cole Liaku, with full combos for the bench, but I really think this is going to be maybe a little episode of 4th player syndrome here. Vesperit, very clearly great on the gimmick stuff. We saw what he did on Hidden 2 for this team, but definitely not his wheelhouse here, the Nomad 1 picks.
And both the FCs on the bench going to be dropping, so Zub is just going to be running away with this combo now. KHC not far behind, as well as Arj. There's just there's no combo on the side of the bench at all.
Wow, this is just like disaster for the bench here. The first KI time really killing the team score. Everybody able to hold here for Osu True Skill, it looks like, through this KI time. And that is massive for Osu True Skill. They're already up about 200,000 score. And that's only going to continue to grow. Defons and Zubs do drop their combos, but so does Vesperit, so does Xylus. Cole Liaku has 100 combo as well. I mean, it's 600 combo for KHC and Arj versus the 300 combo for BTMC. So this is just going to continue to skyrocket in Osu True Skill's favor. Very different from how we would have thought this match went at the start of the draft.
Yeah, a lot of just unlucky misses, it feels like, coming out from the bench on this pick here. Maybe not entirely warm enough yet for this type of aim map. Zub's going to be under-aiming. Vesperit trades that It's just basically KHC and Arge just going off at this point. It's just all in their ball game at this point. And Arge is going to be over-aiming quite a bit, actually, and KHC misses as well. And now combo advantage back in favor very slightly to the bench, just off of BTMC's combo alone.
Yeah, it's only Play Genshin with the combo right now. If he does find a miss here in this last PI time, it's going to be very, very hard for the bench to take this back. It's still a 200k score lead in Osuchruskill's favor, but Play Genshin able to hold on to the combo. He's going to need to do so for a pretty extended period of time. There's some good supporting combos from Vesprit and Xylus right now, but we haven't seen those be consistent support for the high score here, and even then, it's very little map left. We've got less than a quarter of the way to go. The score lead is dropping pretty rapidly, especially with the repeated misses coming through for Osuchruskill, Defons, KHC, and Zubs, all dropping. There go Vesprit, Xylus, and Koaliekyu, though it's only Play Genshin with combo, and there goes the slider break. Unfortunately, it's not going to go back over at the end for the bench. We're going to be 1-1 at the start of the match. 2 breakpoints to start us off.
Yeah, unfortunately, even if BTMC held there, I don't think it would have made a difference. Arge holding at the ending jumps here would have probably secured him the point, or Osuchruskill the point, rather, despite the massive shakes from him at the end there. But it will be quite a surprising, I would say, break point from Osuchruskill. 1-1 now as we get into the bench's next pick, which is Hard Rock 1. And this is just more or less the exact same thing as Nomad 1, but with a few streams added in there at 180 BPM.
I'm going to be a little interested to see how those streams affect the map, or the outcome of the map. We saw quite good scores, of course, from Play Genshin on the last map. I don't think he'll have any trouble with them. The one player that I would think maybe has a little bit of trouble with them is Defons, but he was in for those flow-in picks, and this is only 180 BPM. So I want to see if he's completely ready for this sort of pick. We did also see Arge holding on at the end of the map. The Hard Rock lineup for Osuchruskill definitely a little bit different, I think, than the Nomad lineup. You likely still have in Zubs and Defons. You probably also still have in KHZ. We might see Arge swap out for somebody else. I'm not sure exactly how comfortable he is on that Hard Rock. I think it should be relatively similar for the bench. If they can swap out Vesprit, they probably do that. So we might see those two players swap out. But like you said, this map is so similar to Nomad 1. You may as well be playing the same thing, but AR10 and CS 5.2.
Yeah, I would argue this is quite a bit easier than Nomad 1, in my opinion, so hopefully we should be seeing a bit more consistent combos across the board on this map. But anything is possible, I assume. It seems like the bench going to be going with the same lineup. Actually, same lineup for both teams here.
Yep, same lineup for everybody across the board on this one, so no swaps for either Arge or Vesprit. Seems like both teams are just keeping in all of their aim players.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see when we get into the flow aim sections of this map. Arge with the early miss, not going to matter too much. This map is very long, and these early misses coming out from multiple players, Zubs and Vesprit as well. Going to keep things relatively even here. Accuracy advantage is in favor of True Skill off of KHC and Defons with 99% to their name. And no one missing the first flow aim stream. KHC does slider break immediately after, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's an early combo lead over to the bench. The accuracy, I think, at this point is keeping it on the side of Osuchruskill. We do see nobody above that 97% mark except for Xylus on the side of the bench, and many above 90, actually all above 97, close to 98 for every member on Osuchruskill. So any combo breaks coming out, like from Vesprit and Koaliekyu, actually matter a little bit more for the bench. They have to hold that extra combo in order to offset the accuracy deficit that they have. Defons and Arg, however, doing a great job of maintaining. And never mind, Arg with a little tiltness there, actually. Not sure exactly what went on with him, but very clearly frustrated at the miss, whether it was a legitimate miss or if he had some technical issues or something like that. It looked like some tech issue tilt is what it looks like. Devon's still holding onto the full... Oh, jeez. Okay, well.
This is problematic. This is slightly problematic. 2 FCs on Xylus and BTMC. 97% for them getting into the second Ki here. And this score lead is going to widen quite considerably.
Yeah, Play Genshin and Xylus holding on to these full combos. Like you said, this map looking a little easier for the Hard Rock 1 players over on the bench right now. It seems like Osutrusco definitely showing their discomfort with this style of map on this one. As we see sort of repeated breaks across the board from many members. As we said that, Xylus and Koholieku both finding breaks on the bench. It's just Zubs and Play Genshin with the high combos right now. Play Genshin does drop. It's possible it goes back over, given the accuracy lead that Osutrusco has. But it's going to be hard-pressed to happen and probably need both Play Genshin and the Vesperate dropping for the bench. And I don't think that is super likely. See how consistent a lot of these players are for the bench. And there goes Zubs anyway, so that is going to be our first normal point. The bench winning their own pick here, putting themselves up 2-1 before we get the next 2 picks from Osutrusco.
Yeah, this is an Edward map if I have ever seen one. BTMC making this map look like it is a cakewalk right now. This guy plays hard rock. And now the only question remaining is, will he FC? It would be massive if he does. And it seems like he's going to. I imagine he's not going to miss at the ending. Surely not.
Nope.
Surely not. He doesn't. All right.
Nope. And that's actually really close to their average Hard Rock score from last weekend as well. Only about 220k down from their 2.6 million team score average last weekend. So despite missing, Thieves and probably Umbre on this map for the bench, the FC coming out of Play Genshin doing quite a lot of work in keeping their score close to average. That's that sort of consistency that you want to see from a team that picks Nomad 1 and Hard Rock 1 back to back, right? You do not want to see them have multiple maps in a row on that style of basic jump consistency where they falter. You want to see them be consistent and be able to win those picks time after time, because that's the sort of thing that they really do well on.
And now we're going to be getting into, I would argue, a toss-up pick. Free mod 2. This is a lot more finger control oriented. A lot of rhythm changes in this map. You have to keep your senses wary on this.
Yeah, this is comparing it to the maps that we played already so far. This is most similar to Hidden 2, if only because Nomad 1 and Hard Rock 1 are very, very different from this style of map. Lots of really tricky flowing, lots of, like you said, very difficult finger control patterns on this, lots of changing rhythms on this map and pauses in rhythm as well to deal with. Hidden 2 had the added difficulty of being a swing map. It's mapped at 128 BPM, but most of the patterns that you see on that map are 1/6, and then it changes to 1/8 when it becomes 256 BPM speed core randomly halfway through the map. This one doesn't have that very high BPM sort of patterning, but much, much more difficult to do well on with Hidden because of the overall density. It's AR 9.2, and at this sort of BPM with all of the changing beat snap divisors, it's very, very difficult to read properly. Lots of 1/6 bursts in this map as well, though, so accuracy on Hard Rock is definitely a concern for those players. We'll see probably more Hard Rock players on this, though. I recall during the showcase, Azer mentioning that this is a very, very difficult map to play properly with Hidden. We do
well, you are wrong on that.
Two Hiddens for TFGE and Ryonata over-modding on Osutrusco. Hard Rock for Defons, no mod for Zubs, 1 Hidden for Xylus, 1 Hard Rock for Play Genshin. and then Vesprit and Koaliaku in once again for the bench.
Well, Ryunata hidden doesn't surprise me in the slightest. This man is a hidden player, true to his form, and oh my god.
Hey, welcome to Fremod, guys! Anybody else like chain missing? Anybody else like chain missing? Yeah, this map is hard. Forget if we mentioned, but this map is really hard to be consistent on and to get good accuracy on. Zub's the only full combo left up, by the way. Xylus is close with the 87% accuracy high combo hidden play. Overall act in the favor of Osu True Skill, everybody there above 90%. 3 players below that 90% mark for the bench, and only Vesprit at like 90-91 for the bench right now. So the accuracy alone, even if they don't hold on to very high combos, is still going to do work for Osu True Skill. Luckily for them, Zubs is holding that high combo because Xylus combo gaming right now.
Yeah, and he's the only player combo gaming, unfortunately, with Zubs still holding on to the FC on no mod. Not going to really matter too much, and Xylus going to be missing on the doubles here. Zubs also does miss, but there's just literally no combos on either team at this point.
Yes, just play Genshin and Defons with the Hard Rock combos here, both at around 250-ish at the moment. Slightly higher for play Genshin, but better accuracy for Defons. So it kind of evens out, and actually you can see Defons' score overall still higher due to that accuracy. And with that miss now from play Genshin, it's, you know, the supporting combos are kind of there for Xylus, Vesprit, Koaliaku missing, Xylus missing. Okay, yeah, I think we're basically just going to give this over to Osu True Skill at this point. We're near the very end of the map. The
what is
score
happening?
Is 250k or so. This map is hard, right? These players are very good. You saw what they did on a lot of these other maps. This map is just really difficult to be consistent on. The switches between 1/6 and 1/4 all over the place, in addition to the very heavy flow-in requirement, is just so tough to deal with. And that's how you get a max score in the lobby of 413,000 from Zubs.
Yeah, I would argue No Mod 6 and Free Mod 2 are probably some of the hardest maps in the pool this time around, and we saw that in full force. Only A ranks coming from the hidden players on True Skill, TFG, and Ryunata. Everyone else well below that.
Yeah, somehow the hidden players get A ranks on this map and everybody else gets B ranks, even if they're playing no mod. I don't know how that happens, but okay, sure. Okay, sure, guys. Just A rank that map with hidden. Everybody else B and C's.
94% on that, by the way, is honestly quite insane. Like, that map is not easy to hack, even if you aren't taking Hard Rock. Like, that map is really, really hard. I am underselling it quite a bit. It is really hard.
I mean, even if you discount all of the changes in rhythm between 1/4 and 1/6, you still have the potential to just chain miss entire sections with hidden because of the flow-aim requirements and the relatively low approach rate. So, like, A-ranking that with hidden, both of their hidden players, A-ranking that with hidden, I think kind of shows why they just both went hidden on that map, right? Ryunata and TFGE are both very, very good hidden players, and that is why they picked hidden too. Despite losing it by that really small margin, they are still relatively favored, I think, overall on some of these specifically flow-aim hidden picks. Nomad 4, by the way, the next pick, also playing a little into these flow-aim requirements, but much less finger control in this map than we saw in either Hidden 2 or Free Mod 2. It's a much more straightforward kind of map where, yes, you've got your typical, modern alt map aim control, but you've also got a lot of really standard flow aim at 140 BPM. The only tricky part is that it's high star rating, it's high spacing, and it's 3 minutes long, so you've got to be really consistent on it.
Yeah, this map, I imagine, will be most likely seeing a bit better scores across the board from both teams on this map. This map isn't terribly... Well, it isn't difficult in comparison to Free Mod 2, I'll say that much at the very least. This is a lot more just low BPM finger control, not any rhythm changes or anything. It is very possible to note lock or misread some of these alt patterns, though, as you can see, some of the 1-2 jumps. Not the traditional 1-2 jumps that you would think of, but they are 1-2 jumps, technically. We're going to be seeing a few early misses, TFG and BTMC trading beginning here.
Oh, man, TFG.
Oh, that's not good. But Vesper also does trade that, so that is in favor of True Skill still, despite that. And the accuracy also in favor
Oh my god, Arj. Oh my god.
What is happening?
Chain misses. Okay, Bancho. That's what happened. It was Bancho. We love Bancho, guys. So he goes from 87 to like 95 accuracy, just because that was a Bancho chain miss. But it's only Defons with a full combo right now for Osu True Skill. You'll notice Play Genshin and Xylus both with very high combos. Yes, Vesper traded. Yes, Kolyakyu traded. But the high combos are just not there for Osu True Skill. It is Defons left to try and hold on to the score lead as much as possible. Full comboing alongside Xylus, but two high combos right now for the bench. One of those has to drop at some point, or else the supporting scores need to be that much better for Osu True Skill. And it is Xylus who is going to drop that full combo on the side of the bench. Play Genshin as well. Now with a slight misaim on one of these patterns, and it's only Defons holding on to an FC. No supporting scores for the bench, and you'll notice TFE and Arj still holding on to high combos for Osu True Skill. So this is actually a massive combo lead, in spite of it only being one FC in their favor.
Yeah, I hate to... Kolyakyu is really struggling on this map. I don't think he was meant to play this, but he is not really having a fun time right now, and that is contributing quite massively to True Skill's lead here, as well as Defons obviously holding the FC still through this section.
Yeah, like you said, this is kind of what happens when you're missing 3 players. You tend to have trouble fielding a full 4-player roster for any single map, unless all 4 of your players are very good at one particular thing, which isn't the case here for the bench. They do have players with very different skill sets who are actually here for this match. We do see Defons drop that full combo finally, but he's already up at 600k, and guess what? Arj is there to back him up. This is a 500k and climbing score lead in the favor of Osu True Skill, as he's not going over to the bench anytime soon, and with only a quarter of the map left, I think there's just not enough time, even if all 4 members hold on to their combos, which is not going to happen at the end of this match. High combo from Arj. Zubs with a good supporting combo up to that point did drop it right at the end, but there's just no change in this outcome. This is going to be 3-2 in the favor of Osu True Skill, and we are going to see that last pick from the bench, Double Time 2, come out. That really finger control, stamina-intensive speed pick in Double Time that I think is going to set a bit of the tone for the rest of this match, where both of these teams have strong speed rosters, and we're not really sure exactly who comes out on top on these sorts of picks.
Yeah, you have speed demons like KHZ and Xylus on either team. It can go either way, really, if you think about it. So this is a pretty heavy toss-up pick. Osu True Skill at match point. This is the bench's pick for tiebreaker if they win this.
Well, we have a little lull in the action here, about a minute left to go before this next pick. I do want to shout out, we just created a community challenge in the chat. If you're looking for a way to spend your channel points that you win from your predictions, or that you just get from being in chat and contributing to the conversation, you can check out the channel rewards section. There is a plus $1,000 to the prize pool challenge there. If we get 2.5 million channel points raised in total, we'll add $1,000 to the prize pool overall. All of that goes directly to the players, and all of the prize pool for Corsace Open is raised from donations. If you'd like to donate yourself, !donate in the chat will allow you to do that. But yeah, this Double Time 2 pick, like you said, I think can go either way. You've got speed demons on either team, and you've also got relatively good supporting speed players on either team. You know, players who aren't maybe thought of for their speed prowess, but either among particular circles of players are really well known for being very, very strong on speed and stamina, like Serpy on the side of Osu True Skill, who I'm surprised to not see in for this pick, or Play Genshin on the side of the bench, who has been working on speed for quite some time at this point.
Yeah, you do have, I would say, more or less the expected roster from the bench for this pick. Kolyakyu, Vesperit, BTMC, Xylus. Definitely a competent speed roster that you want going into this, but you're going up against KHZ, Arj, TFG, and Zubs. We'll see how that plays out.
Now that we're done with the intro section, we get into one of the first more difficult parts of this map. The thing that makes this hard isn't the stream length that's the start, it's the differing it's the differing number of notes in all the streams. You can see Vesperate having a little bit of trouble with that. The accuracy for Kolyaku also not great at the moment. It's basically Xylus and Play Genshin left to really try and pull the score over. Kolyaku, I think, still on the full combo, but with that accuracy, it's not going to do as much as these FCs from Osu TrueSkill. And we're now getting into this middle section. This is really where it starts to pick up in difficulty before we get to the end.
And Kolyaku going to be dropping the FC. Granted, the weaker of the FCs, and TFG and KHZ drop as well to trade that. Arj as well missing, and now it's just 1 FC to 2 Zubs against Xylus and BTMC now.
Man, how often has Osu TrueSkill's fate fallen onto Zub's shoulders in this match? This dude is in for like every single pick and keeps performing on almost all of them. You would not believe me if I told you this dude was actually 4-digit, but here he is carrying a team like with KHZ on it on a speed pick. It's kind of ridiculous. Play Genshin and Xylus, however, still holding both of their full combos from the bench, and I think those two players are why they picked this with some confidence, right? Both of them can reasonably expected to, if not FC, at least get close to it on this map, and that's really where they want to put their faith, is these two high-ranked players who are very, very strong in tournaments, have shown themselves over and over to be high-caliber tournament players. And as we get into the ending, this is really where they're going to start to shine. Zubs does drop that combo, but Play Genshin and Xylus, man, they're just going to be able to hold on through this speed section.
Yeah, at this point, I feel like this is pretty much unrecoverable, and we're going to be seeing tiebreaker. Oh, it's just whether or not Xylus and BTMC can get this double FC off on this. KHC as well, holding really strong through this section. But unfortunately, the team combo there, BTMC does drop, and now it's just Xylus, the speed man from Canada.
Yeah, like, KHZ is... Oh, actually, that was Bancho. KHZ did hold on to the combo, just with a little bit, about the same accuracy as Xylus. It's so funny that this is a relatively one-sided pick, actually, almost 700k in the favor of the bench. And it's just solely because Play Genshin and Xylus have such good scores on it, right? Like, Play Genshin close to an FC, 95% accuracy, best AC in the lobby. And you're in a lobby with KHZ and Xylus. KHZ FC'd the Deceit, by the way. Like, this is not a... to back it up, is currently going for like 1k PP on United DT, the Sotark's version of United DT. Xylus as well with like Plasma Gun FCs, and BTMC with the best stack in the lobby. Xylus as well with the full combo on that map. I mean, those are two ridiculous scores on that map, and I think that should be where they place their faith if they're going to go for more speed picks. The tiebreaker, by the way, I think bodes kind of well for the bench after that last map. Fiery, you know about the tiebreaker, right? Go ahead and run us through this map a little bit.
Unarguably the hardest map in the pool. I think that's pretty much given, especially given the matches we've seen already. A lot of people just really not... They're really struggling to have any sort of combo on this. This map is just everything that you can think of. 200 BPM streams, 1/3 patterns, fast sliders. It has everything, and it will trip you up, especially if you are sight reading. But this is definitely a much higher skill cap tiebreaker than I would argue we've seen from pretty much any of the other stages. This is a lot harder than almost the entire pool, I would argue.
Yeah, this is... I mean, you got a Mazarin tiebreaker in semifinals, right? Like, the poolers just hate the players, basically, is what's going on here. They're going to have a hard time with it, regardless of if they are good at this type of map. In general, they're just gonna still have a rough go of it. So teams likely deciding their rosters here for the tiebreaker. Honestly, set one could not have delivered any harder between these two teams, right? We talked about how this matchup was supposed to be very, very close We talked about how both of these teams have really strong things that they're very good at. We talked about how overall the stats, even at the bottom of the average scores. Umbre is awake! They have Umbre for the tiebreaker. That actually maybe changes things if he's warmed up a little bit. He should be relatively good on this. It's KHZ, Zubs, Arj, and Ryunata in on the tiebreaker for Osu the stream hidden player. Xylus, Play Genshin, Umbre, and Cole Liakyu in for the bench.
And you can already see why this is considered one of the hard maps in the pool. As we see these 1/3 fast sliders, pretty much what you would expect from a Mazarin map if you're familiar in the mapping community. This is very much a Mazarin map. This is probably the first thing you would think of. And we're going to be getting into the streams now.
God, it's already death! It's already death! You've got your aim control 1/3, you've got your high spacing streams, you've got your speed requirement. It's only Play Genshin holding on to the full combo, by the way. Probably the most well-rounded player on the bench, and he drops as well now, so it's Umbre and Xylus with some combos. It's Ryunata on the hidden, by the way, the hidden one trick, who slider breaks, as I call out his name. Zubs as well with a break there alongside KHC. Arj holding on to combo alongside Xylus, who, by the way, also has hidden. Both Xylus and Ryunata taking hidden on this.
I'm going to be real with you, I'm not really expecting any high combos on this, so I think it's going to mostly be down to accuracy, and right now True Skill is dominating in that regard. Ryunata at a 97% with hidden, topping the highest AC in the lobby by 2%. And the bench, having Cole Liakyu below 90%, not any player above 95, is not going to be helping them at all.
I'm honestly looking to like the high skill cap, well-rounded players on the bench, specifically Xylus and Play Genshin, to pull out a high combo, not like multiple high combos, but a single high combo at some point throughout this map. Because like you mentioned, the accuracy advantage for Osu True Skill is pretty good right now. They've got AC advantage on basically all 4 members and a pretty sizable one over Cole Liakyu. So the high combo needs to come out if the bench wants to offset that accuracy disadvantage that they have. But meanwhile, KHZ is holding on to almost a 700 combo right now through these 1/3. You know, if there's one dude who's going to full combo a Mazarin map, it's probably the dude who did the replay for... I don't know if anybody remembers like the perennial final tiebreaker earlier this year from Mazarin. That dude did the replay for that map, and he is very, very well versed in Mazarin's style of mapping. He is very, very strong on all of the sorts of maps that Osu True Skill has played. The aim control, the flow aim requirements, he has it all, and he is 1K combo.
Yeah, that actually is really insane, and he's just okay. Never mind. Goodbye, slider. Goodbye, everyone except for Arj. Everyone is dead.
Oh, Lord.
I think that is the exact same slider that tripped up pretty much everybody that was playing the tiebreaker in Ramsing versus AR7 earlier today. That slider is not fun. It is.
Lord. Yeah, and at the end of... right after that slider, right, we've got a 100k score lead plus for Osu True Skill. It doesn't sound like a lot, but the total score for these teams is like 570, 690k right now. 100k is a large percentage of their total score. It's gonna take a while for these teams to pull back a 100k score lead, and it continues to grow as Arj is now holding on to pretty big combo himself, right? Xylus and Play Genshin have big combos, but I think it's mostly offset by Zubs and Arj at the moment. Zubs with a good supporting score, and as we get into some of these ridiculous streams, man, how are they still holding these for all 4 of those players? Xylus as well on the hidden.
BTMC is going to be ending. Oh my god, okay, everyone drops on the next slider, what is happening?
The score lead is increasing for Osu True Skill, that's what's happening.
I genuinely don't think there's enough time, even with like the multiple breaks from everyone. 100k score and only this much on the map remaining, I don't think there's enough time for the bench to really come back from this.
I think you're probably right, even if you're looking to play Genshin to combo through the rest of this. It's Ryunata holding on to a hidden combo as well. that exceeds either Play Genshin or Umbre's combo right now. And the score lead, almost 130k at this point. Very large percentage of the overall team score here for the bench. And there goes all of their combos. This is going to be a win in the tiebreaker for Osatruskel at the end of set 1. And what a way to start off the series between these two teams. We've got a best of 3 sets happening between them. So up to 3 different best of 7s. And with how close this one was, I think we can reasonably expect to see a set 3 in this matchup, or at the very least see set 2 go close to all the way once again. So this was a fantastic way to start off the series.
By the way, I was not lying when I said this is the hardest map in the pool. That is a 1 million max team score. Usually you would see that restricted to finals or grand finals tier, which I would kind of argue this map sort of fills that. I feel like this is a bit on the hard side, but it will be true skill to take the first set 4-3 for them. And we're going to be getting into the next one.
Yeah, that was a very, very close set between the two teams, of course. Even the tiebreaker, man, like 150k score lead, I think, there at the end, or 160k score lead at the end. Looks like both teams are going to be wanting a 5-minute break in between this set and the next one. So we are going to take a short break between these two sets. For those of you who are just tuning in or who have not seen a match in the Corsace Open before, these teams play a best of 3 sets, with each set being a best of 7 like we just saw. So don't go anywhere. We are going to get into a second set shortly, with Osatruskel being up 1-0 in the overall series. We are going to introduce match bans next set as well, so each team is going to pick a ban from the previous set to carry over to the next set and to permanently ban throughout the rest of the match. And it looks like we're actually already getting some match bans here. It looked like both teams did want to take a 5-minute break, but we're probably going through some of the pick ban already between these two teams. I think the No Mod 5 match ban actually makes sense for Osatruskel after what we saw on Double Time 2, right? Their speed roster, I think, is not quite as cohesive as it needs to be to deal with the 2 speed carry players on the bench in Xylus and Play Genshin.
And
so
I imagine the match ban for the bench is just straight up going to be No Mod 6 and then a Free Mod 2 ban immediately after, because I don't think they really want to risk those finger control intensive picks. Especially with how we saw Free Mod 2 go last time, I just don't see them realistically leaving that open.
Yeah, I honestly have to agree. They are probably not going to leave that up, and yep, there it goes. So we are going to see No Mod 6 get banned out. No finger control, changing beat snap to visor, flow aim picks left in the no mod pool at this point. Now, after those match bans, it looks like we are going to get a short 3-minute break. So grab some popcorn, grab something to drink, join us back here in 3 minutes. We're going to get another set underway between these two almost evenly matched teams.
It seems like the minute break is going to be over now, so we should be resuming the picks and bans shortly.
Yeah, hopefully, and there we go. Yeah, we're gonna get into the first bans for both of these teams again. This time around, the bench is going to be banning first instead of Osu Trueskill. It does swap here for the second set. In the third set, it'll be back to Osu Trueskill banning and picking first once again. But for now, we're going to get a first ban out of the bench. I'm sort of looking for this team to maybe ban out something like the Free Mod 2 that we saw in the last set, because that pick was really, really tough for them to perform on. And I think even with Umbre, it's still going to be a really difficult map for them overall. We did also see Nomad 4 and Hidden 2 get picked up by Osu Trueskill, but I think the bench had a lot of an easier time with those maps, so likely a Free Mod 1 or Free Mod 2 ban coming out of them. Probably that Free Mod 2 that we saw them struggle with last time around.
Yeah, I would be very surprised if Free Mod 2 is not banned.
So they're actually going to ban out Nomad 4. All right. We did see Nomad 4 last time around. It was the last pick for Osu Trueskill. And to be fair to this ban, it was a relatively one-sided pick. It was 600k in Osu Trueskill's favor. So I can definitely understand going for that ban versus going for the Free Mod 2 ban, where, it was only a 300k raw score difference between the two of them. Even if your team struggles with that pick a lot more, it's a little easier to, grab 75k on each player than it is to grab 150k on each player.
And DT2 from Osu Trueskill, surprising not really many people. They lost that by quite a considerable margin off of 2 players alone. We're going to be seeing a different pick to start things off with Nomad 2 coming from the bench. I imagine capitalizing off the fact that Umbre is here now, so Xylus, BTMC, Umbre, and then you just have Koliaku to fill. That is a very strong roster on Nomad 2.
Yeah, I think that is a very, very good roster for Nomad 2, and like you said, I think it's specifically because Umbre is here that they are now picking this map. If you have not seen Nomad 2 get played yet, or if you did not watch the Mappools showcase last weekend, this map is hard. It's 200 BPM, and it has tons of very, very long streams in it. Even when the streams are interrupted by a little kick slider, the next stream starts almost immediately afterwards. So it's very long streams all linked together in short succession. It's an absolute stamina drain to play that map, and no surprise that Free Mod 2 is the first pick for Osu Trueskill. I don't think it was a relatively one-sided map, despite the only 300k margin of victory that they had, specifically because of how low the team scores were. It was 1.3 million to 1 million team score on that map, and now Free Mod 1 and Free Mod 3 banned out in very short order by both teams. Osu Trueskill banning Free Mod 1, the bench banning Free Mod 3.
I think that is similar to what we've seen in the first set, though I still do kind of disagree with banning Free Mod 3 from the bench. That map, you do have Hidden and Hard Rock players for that map easily on the bench side, but I suppose that the map is pretty straightforward with Nomad, and I just do not want to risk getting combo gamed, as it were. But it won't be Trueskill's follow-up pick. And I imagine we will see more of that finger control-oriented picks here from them.
Yeah, not surprising that Hidden 2 gets picked. They did lose it last time around, but it was very, very close. It was 15,000 score. One player's accuracy can give you 15,000 score at that point. It was largely off the back of a carry performance from Vesprit that the bench was able to get that point. So if Vesprit does not have that same carry performance, right? He got an S rank on the map. He 0 missed it, and had 94% accuracy, the highest in the lobby. If he doesn't have that same carry performance, if he misses partway through the map instead, well, suddenly their score is lower by 200k. Whereas for Osutruskel, you have a very consistent overall team score between 320k and 465k for every single member of the team. So I do still think that pick works out. Nomad 1 and Hard Rock 1 also surprising absolutely nobody for the bench. They aren't going with speed, which I do think is a little bit interesting considering the DT2 and Nomad 5 bans coming out of Osutruskel. They don't go with something like DT3 instead. They stick to the aim along with Nomad 2. And then Nomad 3 for Osutruskel, the tech map in Nomad, I think with Nomad 4 banned out, still sticks relatively well to the same strategy they've had for their pick ban all throughout the last set.
And we're going to be getting into Nomad 2 to start things off with. On paper, definitely a map that favors the bench, I would argue, quite heavily. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't straight up pick this in the first set, to be honest. Even without Umbre, you still have Xylus, BTMC, and Cole EQ to do really good on this. Even if you do have a fourth player syndrome, I still do feel like they would probably be fine on that. But we won't be seeing it here.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty reasonable expectation for the rosters for both of these teams. You're likely not getting anything different from those top 4 players on the bench. We probably are going to see KHZ, TFGE, I would say Zubs and Arj, I think, in for Osutruskel. That's been their typical roster on maps like Double Time 2 so far, and I know for a fact Defons does not have the stamina for this, so he is not going in on this map. It's going to be those other players. Ryunata likely does not go in on a map where he cannot take hidden, so that leaves up the rest of the players who are here. Without any further ado, we should be getting into the next pick in just a second. Go ahead and finish up your predictions for this set. We saw Osutruskel take the tiebreaker last set in a close 4-3 bout. The bench, however, still with some very strong players, and with Umbre now here in the lobby as well for this map. And I think a little surprised that Vesprit is in for Nomad 2. And don't believe that win score at the top of your screen. It is 0-0 right now. We are at the start of a new set. Just now starting off set number 2 between Osutruskel and the bench.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised to see Vesprit come in for Cole EQ here, but yeah, definitely know what they're doing. I imagine he's also comfortable on this map. It is a fairly straightforward 200 BPM stream map, and it seems like TrueSkill actually did a roster swap after the fact of the timer running down, so they might have to be forced to bring the Fawns in.
Yeah, that's unlucky. They probably just hard lose this because of that. As good as Defons is at all of these lower BPM finger control picks, and even some of the 1-6 burst map where the bursts are short enough, his aim control is fantastic, his flow aim is fantastic, his jump aim is fantastic. He really sucks at stamina and long streams and speed. So he's going to have a really hard time with this. I'm a little surprised to see Vesprit in over Cole EQ on this for the bench, but we did see Vesprit play DT2 in the last set for the bench, so I think it's a pretty decided advantage in terms of the rosters for the bench on this one, but we already kind of know that, right? It's their pick. Xylus, Umbre play Genshin by themselves as a 3-player roster that I don't think you ever want to go up against on Nomad 2. So this is already well in their favor from the start, and with Defons being forced to sub in for Zubs, I think this is a pretty one-sided map.
Xylus with the early break, however, is going to be given TrueSkill a bit of a combo. Okay, what is happening? Ryunata and Umbre trading breaks on a single tap, I believe. As we get into the stream section here, Defons does find the miss, as you were talking about. That stamina really impacting him, 95% from him compared to the 99s across the board except for Xylus on the side of the bench. And
yeah, as we really get into these... Oh, yeah. Yeah, as we get into these really long streams, I think Ryunata and Defons are gonna start to show exactly why I wasn't sure whether we would see them in for this map, why TFGE and Zubs would have probably been preferred for Osu True Skill. KHZ and Arj are fine, right? 99.6 for KHZ.
For Arch, as a matter of fact.
For Arj, excuse me.
As well as Vesperid. Vesperid dominating. That's 99.7 from him as well. So we were questioning him getting in, but I guess our questioning was misplaced because he is just rolling this map.
Yeah, considering how well he did on DT2 and now on Nomad 2 here, it seems like he's definitely got the stamina. It's just the, I think, raw aim that he struggles with, but you can see the stamina struggles coming out from a couple people right now, notably Umbre among those people, who is sort of struggling to keep the combo together on a lot of these long streams in Nomad 2. Ryunata and Defons, I think it's expected that they are going to have a really tough time with this. Arj and KHZ still full comboing to the credit of Osu True Skill. Unfortunately, Xylus, Vesper, and Play Genshin all with either full combos or, in Xylus' case, very close to a full combo.
And high accuracies from all three of those players as well. This is looking to be a pretty much said and done deal for this map. Not really much you can do against a 700k score lead with this much of the map remaining, unfortunately. And it will just be this final stream pattern. We'll see how many FCs we're going to be seeing at the end of the map here. Oh! BTMC almost breaking, but he saves it. Never mind. Close from Play Genshin. 1 FC for both teams, by the way. Vesperit on the side of the bench with the full combo. KHZ with an FC for Osu True Skill. And yeah, Osu True Skill just kind of wishes they had Zubs in for that map instead of Defons. They're, like I said, the roster definitely not what they would have liked to have had, and it shows in a pretty one-sided defeat in the favor of the bench. So nice first pick from them. I think even with Zubs in there, right, it's still over 1 million team score. They probably still win that regardless. So very nice first pick from them. I expect to see that match banned. If we do go to set number 3, right, you probably don't want to give that pick back over to the bench. Yeah, free mod 2. We did see this go in True Skill's favor last time, but the bench having a bit more time to warm up now. Maybe they're feeling a bit better on this map. Who knows? It is a new set after all. Anything can happen. You can go from a 4-way FC on one set to not even getting above 2 million team score on the next one.
Yeah, this was the hard map. If you remember from the last set, this is the one where the bench got 1 million team score and True Skill got 1.3 million team score, and somehow that was still a very high percentage win for them, right? So you're hoping, if you are the bench, that some of the scores go down a little bit. Maybe you've got a carry performance, a pop-off from one of your players. It looks like we do have the same roster in... Actually, no, Will Stetson subbing in for Koa Liakyu on the side of the bench, taking Nomad. Xylus hidden, Play Genshin, Hard Rock as before. Double hidden for TFGE and Ryunata, same as before for Osu True Skill, and Hard Rock for Defons. Zubs in on the Nomad. They have their correct roster this time. Luckily for them, they've got that all prepared and ready to go.
And Will Stetson swapping in for Koa Liakyu here. Not terribly surprising. Koa Liakyu did do the worst on this map last time it was played, getting sub 200k on it, and starting things off here, combo advantage actually quite massively in favor of the bench with 3 FCs currently, to the 2 on the side of True Skill.
Yeah, lots of early misses for Osu True Skill, TFG, Defons, and Ryunata, all finding early misses. Ryunata with a great recovery at this point, and Zubs with the accuracy, by the way, 96.5% AC at the moment.
Yeah, that's
2%
nuts.
higher than the next, or no, 1% higher than the next highest from Will Stetson, also on Nomad. But there goes Will's axe. So yeah, Zub's accuracy looking very, very strong here. And it's actually keeping the score relatively close despite the combo lead for the bench. This accuracy from Zubs is doing a lot of work in keeping the score lead relatively close. And man, look at these team scores. We're already past where we were for both teams in the last set. These scores are far better in set number 2. We've still got 3 full combos. Okay, there goes Xylus finally for the bench, dropping one of those FCs.
That's actually massive.
Versus Vesprit and Play Genshin. Now, Ryunata also drops on the hidden, and I think at this point it's just Vesprit and Play Genshin holding strong. Play Genshin drops, Zubs drops, Vesprit drops, everyone has no combo.
Yeah, and 300, or about 200k score lead, not enough map to recover. Bench taking a break point on the map they got relatively, I wouldn't say stomped, but definitely felt a lot more uncomfortable compared to True Skill on this map, but they're coming out swinging now on this one. BTMC 650k from him, that is a 400k score improvement, and also getting the A rank as well with Hard Rock.
Yeah, 650k A rank Hard Rock for Play Genshin? That's kind of nuts. He had 87% AC last time around. He improved his AC by 6%. He more than doubled his combo on that map. He went from 13 misses to 4. Like, that is exactly why I think they were able to pick this again. Vesprit as well doubled score from 260k to 590k the next time around. Like, these scores are completely different. You know, not only for True Skill getting a much higher score this time around, but man, the bench almost doubled their entire team score. They went from just over 1 million to just under 2 million team score. That is a ridiculous score improvement.
And I guess that's why they didn't ban it, because that is way better from them on that 2-0 lead for them now getting into Hidden 2, which the bench did win last time, albeit by only 15k points. Mostly off the fact that, as we said earlier, Vesprit S-ranking the map. That was pretty much the only reason they came out on top on that map, but now they do have Umbre. And you would expect to see him in for this map. And also, as a matter of fact, BTMC is not playing Tetrio.
It's a pretty good sign. It's a pretty good sign for the second set here for the bench. We see BTMC, aka Play Genshin, in for this map after practicing it instead of after practicing Tetris. He probably does a little better. TFG, Defons, Ryunata, Zubs in for Osu True Skill. I don't think any surprises there. RGKHZ mostly saved for the more stamina-intensive maps. Xylus, Vesprit, Will Stetson, and Play Genshin in once again for the bench. I think it makes quite a lot of sense. Vesprit was the carry player from the bench last time around. Look to him to do well on this map once again.
I am a bit surprised to see Will in for this map again, as he did do pretty bad last time around. He barely got above a 150k score gap, but starting things off here, it seems like a lot of the bench not really having a fun time here. Vesprit, once again, the only combo remaining. Ryunata as well, the hidden man, as we would call him, playing hidden.
Yeah, definitely playing the hidden mod right now. Zubs also has pretty okay combo for Osu True Skill. It's a lot of supporting combos, honestly, on their side. Far fewer misses for the supporting scores, and that's kind of how it was last time around, right? Vesprit was basically a solo carry for the bench, but now you've got Ryunata matching that solo carry. 2% higher AC, by the way, 97 AC for Ryunata on this. Okay, sure.
And there goes Vesprit. Ryunata is going in. This is the Ryunata show. Everyone on True Skill, as a matter of fact. Defons does drop, but he's the only person to drop on the team as we get into this last third here. And this is an insane team performance now from them. Ryunata, what is Ryunata doing? What is he doing?
He's actually full comboing. I don't know how he's still full comboing. Everybody else has missed except for Xylus in the speed core part, which is like not surprising, right? But man,
he's going in.
Is he? Okay, he misaims. He misaimed. We're good, guys. We're not seeing the anomaly right now. Still 850k on this map. 95. This is the very last note. 95.46% accuracy for Ryunata. At the very end, Troll's the last note, but man, what is that score? That is Osu True Skill Iceberg type of score right there.
Yeah, that is a almost 500k improvement for True Skill score on that map. The bench getting roughly the same score that they did last time team-wise, but Ryunata just making all the difference there. 350k to adding 500k on top of that. That is quite a performance, I would say.
Yeah, sort of the exact opposite of what happened on Fremod 2, right? Where we saw the bench, and specifically Play Genshin, just go off. This time around, it is Ryunata and Osu True Skill who do the same. That is a fantastic performance from them. And going into Nomad 1 now, you got one breakpoint in the favor of the bench. They're actually up 2-1, and if they just win Nomad 1, Hard Rock 1 with, they're good aim consistency players, like they are liable to do, then this set is over, right? It's just 4-1. That's part of the reason why some teams tend to prefer the 2 picks near the end of the set. If you manage to take a break point in the first half, they just don't even get their last pick, right? You just don't get to use it at all. So we're gonna see if that does end up
Thieves is in the game!
Thieves is here? Okay. Yeah, this is the bench slowly getting more of their roster as the match goes on, and Osu True Skill not having the same happen, right? We haven't seen Serpy or Korea Maluko in for them yet. They've just had the same 6 members all throughout. Definitely does not bode super well for Nomad 1 Hard Rock 1 here when you see Thieves show up. The man SS'd Nomad 1 last weekend.
Granted, it will be... I'd be surprised if he's already warm enough to FC this type of map, but, I mean, I guess anything's possible. We'll see what happens, I suppose. This was a quite close map last time around. We mostly saw BTMC with the high combo, but Vesperit as well, instead of Thieves, was struggling to maintain combo on this, so it will be Thieves to replace him for this.
Did you have a couple early breaks for both KHZ and Thieves at the start of the map? Doesn't really matter much, their combos are the exact same. It's looking like mostly the accuracy doing work for the bench at the moment.
Yeah, KHZ with the only accuracy below 99% at the moment, which is making pretty much all of the difference. Actually, not pretty much, it is making all the difference. Koleik with the miss in this first Ki will be changing things up a bit. KHC does trade, but that's not what they want. They want one of these FCs to trade, and all of them holding strong. Xylus and Thieves missing as well. Not looking good.
Man, once again, it's just Play Genshin holding on to the full combo for the bench, doing what he can at this point to try and keep the score alive, but this is how they got breakpointed on Nomad 1 last time around. It was Play Genshin with the highest score in the lobby, 99.5 AC and 600k. But it just wasn't enough because the scores from Osu True Skill were more consistent. We do see a drop from Zubs, which does help this score lead not skyrocket in their favor. Oh, yeah, okay, never mind.
BTMC dropped as well, so Defons and Arj with the only 2 FCs remaining halfway through the map, and this is a score lead that is going to keep on increasing quite a bit.
Yeah, if Play Genshin were still holding on, it would be a different story, but the drop from Defons does help a little bit for the bench. They really need Arj to drop now as well, and for both Koleik and Thieves to hold on to these relatively high combos.
Arj does drop!
There goes Arj! Okay, it's only a 200,000 score lead right now for Osu True Skill. There are high combos on the bench, but there goes Thieves, and there goes Koleik, and now it's just completely reset for both teams. KHC with the highest combo in the lobby, and even that's really not a ton to speak of. It's 500. So the score lead is going to continue to go in the favor of Osu True Skill, and this is looking like another breakpoint.
Yeah, another breakpoint for True Skill here. Getting into the last fourth of the map, unfortunately, just no combos from anyone on the bench aside from BTMC, and I don't think that's going to make up this score gap, unfortunately. But having Thieves is definitely, I feel, a bit of a mental boost for the bench, as when he's warm, he is going to be an aim player and a half for them. So it will be True Skill taking this point for now, but might not be the case in the third set. And okay, two players on the bench got slow slidered there.
Yeah, at this point, it's not going to matter all that much. It's 250k for Osu True Skill, and it's those high combos at the start. Nobody really able to hold on to a consistent combo through those more difficult ki times in the second half of the map, and you no longer get that carry performance to come out from Play Genshin. It's still 550k, 580k for Arj and Defons this time around. Defons actually looking very, very good on this map, improved his score by quite a wide margin, and those more consistent scores, more consistent high scores from Osu True Skill do the trick.
We are going to be getting into Hard Rock 1 immediately after, though. This is a map we did see a bit more favored towards the bench. Xylus getting a high combo, BTMC FCing last time. And Thieves is also here now, which I imagine he will be swapping for Vesperate, which was their fourth player last time for this map. So definitely a bit more confident going into this map. We'll see how that plays out for them.
Yeah, this was an FC play from Play Genshin last time around. 0 misses on this. Did have 98% accuracy, or close to 98% ac. I think the team definitely looking to him to continue to carry, but also they do have Thieves in instead of Vesperate. And yes, Thieves is not warm, I don't think, right now. But he did outscore Vesperate by 100k on Nomad 1, even without, maybe without warm-up. So I think you can reasonably expect him to outscore Vesperate on Hard Rock 1 as well, and by a similar margin. And if that is the case, then it becomes all the more difficult for Osu True Skill to try and breakpoint the bench on this pick. For the sake of keeping a close series, I'm hoping we see the bench able to take this one. It is Xylus, Koaliku, Thieves, and Play Genshin, or BTMC, in for this one for the bench. KHZ, Defons, Arj, and Zubs in once again, same lineup as last time.
And we'll see if we can see some of those carry performances from BTMC and Xylus once again on this map, or if True Skill can manage to combat that. No one going to be dropping on the slider stream this time, thankfully. And yeah, this is essentially, as we were saying, this is pretty much just Nomad 1 again. There are a few stream sections, here's one of them, but they're relatively comfortable for most players, everyone hitting that. Zub's going to be slider breaking after the first drop.
I think that happened to him the first time around as well, if I remember right. He hit the space stream and then slider broke afterwards, trying to regain composure on the slow part. Now we're into the first ki time, slight combo lead for the bench because of that drop from Zubs, and there's a second one as well. Xylus and KHZ do trade drops there, so it's 2 full combos to 3, still in the favor of the bench, looking good so far on their first pick, as Zubs really does seem to be struggling a little bit with the raw aim consistency picks here in the second set. Had a good score the first time around, but there goes Thieves. Xylus also dropping, so it is Koaliku and Play Genshin versus Defons and Arj, and a slight supporting combo lead for Osu True Skill as well with KHZ's combo.
Accuracy advantage is also in favor of True Skill right now. Arj holding a 99%, Defons with a 98%. Going to be keeping things relatively competitive here, especially with the, as you mentioned, KHZ extra supporting combo helping. And we'll actually see this swap over to True Skill, especially with that miss from Xylus. It's going to be swapping over right now, actually.
You've got to hope for a miss to come out from True Skill here soon if you are rooting for the bench, or if you're rooting for a close series.
Defons drops! That's massive! That's massive. That's one of the FCs gone. It's just Arj against Koliakyu in BTMC now. But, oh, no!
And there's Koliakyu there at the end. KZ and I believe Zubs as well actually both have good supporting combos. It's only Play Genshin left to stand alone. The man did full combo it last time around. BTMC Hard Rock aim consistency is very good. This is an Edward map, but it seems like it's also an Arj map at this point. 99% on the full combo. There goes Zub supporting combo, and there goes Arj with a miss of his own. KHZ still has high combo, but Play Genshin's FC should be enough to offset it. It's very similar act for both players. If he can hold his nerves, it should come over. There goes KHZ.
He needs to hold so badly through this, but okay, never mind. He doesn't
we're actually
anymore. Everyone on True Skill died, so...
Yep. Oh, very, very close from True Skill, though. That was very, very nerve-wracking, I think, for the bench, with only Play Genshin holding on to high combo until the end of the map. Does find a slider break here before the end. Isn't going to be completing 2 FCs in a row, but damn close to it. And that's the kind of performance that you need if you want to offset, a very consistent team score. Once again, from Osu True Skill, 2 players around that 500k mark and a 700k from Arj. Very, very close to pulling off the carry as well. A little less than a 300k margin of victory in the favor of the bench, however, brings us to a 3-2 scoreline in their favor. Osu True Skill's last pick now coming up.
And it's a pick we haven't seen before. Nomad 3. This is the tech map in the Nomad pool, and quite different from pretty much anything we've seen prior. I would say, if I had to pick a map that we've seen, this would probably be more similar to Fremod 2. There are a couple of weird bursts in this map. There's actually, I distinctly remember, a 1/5 burst at the very beginning of the map, which is, if you don't remember that, that will trip you up pretty hard. There's also just a lot of 1/3 rhythm changes midway through patterns. It's just pretty much, when you think tech map, this is what you get.
Yeah, lots of, in addition to all of the rhythm changes, as you can kind of tell from the difficulty name, the Rail Lazy method. Lots of really tricky stream aim and cuts in this map. Lots of tricky sliders to aim as well all throughout, so despite it being 2 minutes, there's a lot of different types of patterns jam-packed into this map, and that's the type of thing that Osu True Skill has been picking all throughout this match so far, right? Through this series, they've picked the most unconventional maps in the pool. They've gone for Fremod 2, they've gone for Hidden 2, they've gone for Nomad 4, and now, here with Nomad 4 banned out, they go for Nomad 3. So, right up their alley from what we've seen so far. I'm sort of expecting Defons in for this one. He should be completely fine on the stamina. TFGE, Arj, and Zubs in as well. We're going to Play Genshin as the last member in for the bench. Xylus, Thieves, and Vesperate in the lobby on time. Good luck, have fun, they're out. We are ready to go into the last pick for Osu True Skill.
This is for another tiebreaker for the set. It would be quite something if we saw 2 tiebreakers back to back, but it is possible. True Skill's pick, rather, and the bench at match point. This is a relatively short map as we get into this here. This isn't as long as some of the other picks we've been seeing throughout the match. We can see right now just how techy this map is, and you're getting a glimpse of that right now. So far, combo advantage is favoring the bench with the 3 FCs to only 2 on the side of True Skill.
You have similar supporting combos for Thieves and Arj. Vesperate, though, does break that full combo, and TFG is able to hold it. There go Defons and Arj. Play Genshin also dropping at the same time, and with only Xylus left now with combo up on the side of the bench, it is a slight combo lead for Osu True Skill. Zubs matching VFC coming out of Xylus and with slightly better accuracy. TFGE, 97, 98%, by the way, right now for TFGE. Holding onto a very high supporting combo, very clearly comfortable with the sort of
Zubs misses!
Zubs does drop, but even then, look at no combo to support Xylus over on the bench. It's all on him. And TFGE and Defons both have some supporting combos here. It's just TFGE now.
It's just a Xylus game. It's a Xylus game now. It's all Xylus. If he holds this, he can bring this back single-handedly and take us to set 3. Will we be seeing it happen?
Man, these solo carry performances from the bench.
He's hitting these!
It's every map! Every map! They've got one player who does
the ending! Wait a second!
The last second, it's going to be Osu Truskill, Defons, and Arj holding on to the combo. And that's been the story all series long with these two teams. Osu Truskill continually have, sure, lower high scores, but also higher low scores. They've got the more consistent team scores map after map in this series. You see these Play Genshin Vesper all struggling to put up similar scores as the low scorers on Osu Truskill, and despite Xylus' best efforts, one miss from that carry player is all it takes to turn the tide, and Osu Truskill bring us to tiebreaker for the second set in a row.
Well, you wanted a close match. I'd say it delivered. And comparing what we've seen, as we said, this is easily the hardest map of the pool. We didn't see any team score above 1.1 million from either team on this, and we saw quite a few just full resets on especially the slider patterns. But we did see BTMC get a 6 miss on this, and Umbre was not as warm as he probably would have wanted to been, so now that these players are a bit more familiar with this map, we'll see how that plays out in their favor. KHZ did get the highest combo last time around at a 1K combo from him. We'll see if he can replicate that.
Yeah, the timing of that combo for KHC definitely paid off. Held combo through a single difficult section near the ending, or near the middle of the map, excuse me, held the end of that difficult section, and then there was quite a bit of relatively easy combos, some 1/3 with spacing changes afterwards that allowed him to amass that 1K combo. If he can do something similar in the same part of the map, we might see that high score come out again. But Play Genshin, BTMC with a 6 miss on this map, last time around the only single-digit miss count. If he can, mitigate one of those misses anywhere, there's very clearly a large amount of time between all of those misses, right? So if he can avoid one of those misses here on this map a second time around, suddenly his combo, just like that, goes through the roof as well. There's the potential for carry performances from either of these teams. We've already seen the tiebreaker go once in the favor of Osu Truskill, but it was 160k. They held on to a slight lead all throughout, and it was really the low scores from Umbre and Koliaku that I think made the difference there. So with Thieves and Vesper, with Thieves and Vesper in instead of Umbre and Koliaku this time around, we've got different rosters for the bench. The same roster as before for Osu Truskill. Let's get into the tiebreaker, the second set in a row. 2 tiebreaker sets to start off this series.
Yep, and we're getting into the hardest map in the pool, and yep, this is about as I imagined the beginning would go. I imagine this is going to be pretty similar to what we've seen in the first set, where we pretty much didn't see anyone holding a consistent combo throughout this entire map. This map is really, really not friendly to combo.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. You can kind of see that already. Everybody just missing everywhere. What we're going to be tracking more importantly than the combo is the accuracy. And I want to draw attention to Zubs right now, who is holding 99.4% ac. What is wrong with this man? He's been in on, I think, every single map so far. Am I mistaken? Has he been on every single map? If not every map, it's close to every map. He does drop the combo, but man, still like 98.5 accuracy on this, even at the start, is just so ridiculous. The dude has been so consistent for this team, and you're going to look to that type of accuracy to be a carry player for this tiebreaker.
I do want to clarify, he was not in for every map. He was not in for Nomad 2 earlier this set.
Okay.
But yeah, we're going to be getting into the first fourth of the map here. Scores literally dead even, as a matter of fact. And the combos from BTMC and Xylus keeping them that way for now. Ryunata as well with a pretty stellar combo himself. 96% to boot with that hidden modification. But we did see that accuracy drop near the end where it became more stamina intensive. And Ryunata going to be dropping his combo as well. Now it's just Xylus and BTMC with the only combos in the lobby maintaining through this hard section here.
And I think this is the section where KHZ was able to maintain combo last time around and then get some relatively free combo from a lot of 1/3 right afterwards. If that's the case here for both Play Genshin and Xylus, this is going to be a huge combo boon for their team. Play Genshin misses on some of the repeat sliders, it looks like, on a slider break. Xylus able to hold on, however, through the aim control section with hidden as well to boot. 96.5 accuracy on this play. Arj has a high combo for Osutrusco alongside Xylus.
Oh no.
But there goes Xylus. It's Fees to pick up the slack for the bench, but this score is going to start moving over to Osutrusco.
Arj holding his combo alongside Zubs right now, and the accuracy advantage is in favor of True Skill. Halfway through the map, there are still the fast sliders that we saw everyone break on, and it could be massive to see some of these combos hold through that, but Vesperit with a full miss and no combo. Oh, KHC and Arj going to be holding through that fast slider! That's actually huge! Arj with the 1K combo now!
Yeah, this is the highest combo that we saw right from KHZ last time around. It was just over 1K, so here we go. Arj picking up the high combo banner where KHZ drops down a little bit, and this is big for Osutrusco. This is how they were able to win the tiebreaker last set as well, with a single high combo, propelling them into the lead by a full 100K before that high combo dropped, and it doesn't look like Arj is having any trouble at all with the stream section here. Not even a 100 drop throughout this section. This dude is looking so good on these streams.
There is another fast slider, so it is possible we will see him drop on that, especially with his shakes right now. He is having the time of his life with the shakes. He's going to be missing before that, unfortunately. But KHC there with the backing up of his own combo. 1K for him now as well.
Yeah, Arj is like earthquake magnitude 7 tremors right now. KHC does find a break. Zubs as well finds a break despite the high combo right afterwards. And even in spite of all of these breaks for Osutrusco, where is the combo for the bench? They just don't have anyone to try and capitalize on these breaks, and it's already a 160, 170k score lead in the favor of Osutrusco here going into the last quarter of the map. There has to be a pop-off from the whole team on the side of the bench if they want to be able to take this. 150k, 160k doesn't sound like much, but the overall team scores are low enough that this is a very high percentage of their overall score. They need to combo through this section if they want to force set 3.
Fees is struggling right now. Arj does trade the miss as well, but okay, that's GG.
Yeah, I think unfortunately you're right. This is probably going to be it. Vesperit is able to hold on, but the score lead is just too high. You need multiple members holding on, and it's just not the case for the bench.
Yeah, if there was a bit more time, Vesperit could definitely have brought this back, but unfortunately this combo is just not going to cut it at the very end here.
He's really doing work here at the end. It's unfortunate that the rest of the team just isn't there with the necessary backup. Osutrusco, 2 consistent twice in a row on the tiebreaker, permanently benching the members of the other team. They will be eliminated from the tournament. This is the losers bracket, so unfortunately for the bench, they are going to be sitting out for the rest of the tournament. GG well played to Osutrusco. They advance 2-0 in a double tiebreaker series into the next round of the losers bracket. That was a fantastic match to watch. Very, very close from both of those teams.